fish-free Worcester sauce. See, when I discovered this, it was like a little moment of, oh, because I loved Worcester sauce when I was an Omni. And yeah, so I didn't actually, because I know a lot of people, I read a lot of blogs and I heard people talking about this and I was just like, I've never seen it. And then I seen it one day and I think I seen it in Morrison's, and I think that's probably why I'm all Morrison's freak now. But yeah, I seen it and I immediately had to buy it. And oh, and I use that, sorry, in loads of different sauces. So if I'm making a shepherdess pie, if I'm making sort of like a faux spaghetti bolognese or any kind of tomatoey sauce, that it lends a depth, I think. It lends just like a little bit of depth. The same way some balsamic vinegar would to a dish. Sometimes I use this and balsamic. Why not? Let's go crazy. And oh yes, maple syrup. This might be organic as well. Yeah, I mean, I try to buy organic as much as I possibly can. We don't have a huge budget, but I think that it's important to try and buy organic. I think because a lot of people get confused and they're like, oh, but it tastes the same. That's not the point. The point is that, you know, the soil is obviously, if it's been bamboozled with chemicals and pesticides, I mean, that's not good for. It's not good for us and it's not good for our future generations, and I personally don't want my kids eating all that horribleness. But I use maple syrup for, sorry, was that a rant? I hope not. Maple syrup, pancakes obviously, but I just use it as a sweetener really, but I use it sparingly because it's so expensive, and that one's not even been opened actually because I've discovered this. This is Sweet Freedom. I really hope they're going to bring this out in the States. Obviously you've got maple syrup, so you're all good in that front. This is a fruit syrup, literally just made from, yeah, natural fruit extract. I take this because it's got, amongst other things, B12. And if you're an experienced vegan or a long-term vegan or short-term, or if you're a vegan, you'll know that it's really important to get your B12. And if you can get this, or Vegemite, or I'm sure there's other fortified kind of yeast extracts, powdered garlic. And I actually get this from the make of this is the Raja or something like that. So it's like an Indian make. But I got it in a local Chinese store that does loads of spices and herbs and stuff like that, really, really cheap. I mean, like ridiculously cheap. I even got a bag of white rice flour in there once for 50p. I was like, what? Anyway, cocoa powder, can't live without it. I think this one's organic as well. Yeah, organic, and it's fair trade. Again, with the fair trade, I think it's just really important, because I don't think being a vegan ends with, oh, no cruelty to animals. I think it incorporates just no cruelty in general, and I don't want, you know, people to be taken advantage of as well. So I want people to get a fair deal, and so I try to buy fair trade as much as possible. And this one is really nice. This is lovely. Is this Clipper or is this just some random? It just says organic Hispaniola cocoa. But it's gorgeous. It's a really nice one. And, well, obviously you can make cocoa, like hot cocoa, hot chocolate, or I put it in my overnight oats. I like sprinkle maybe a tablespoon in and let it soak overnight, and it gets really chocolatey. Obviously I use it for brownies, fudgy brownies. Have you tried my fudgy brownies? They were on Marcus Samuelson last week, I think. They're really good. Organic Earl Grey. I love my tea. I absolutely love tea. I love normal tea. I love, well, we call normal tea, I think in America we discovered it was black tea, which was a whole load of confusing, because we actually ended up buying all sorts of tea before we realised what we should be buying. There was some very odd moments sipping tea and being like, this didn't taste right. But yeah, so Earl Grey. I'm a heathen. I put milk, well, soy milk or plant milk in my Earl Grey. Sorry, it's just the way I do it. That's an empty black peppercorn thing. Oh, this is the clear one. So I showed you the dark one. Sweet Freedom it's called. I might not have said that. Sweet Freedom. And this is the light one, which is really nice. However, that dark one, whoa mama, it is good. I've got my little wasabi powder here. Again, this has the kosher sign and the vegan society. Sorry, I'm trying to get it so it's like not, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, and I really love it when the vegan society when it's not the vegan society, it's up to the company to apply for the vegan society symbol. But it's just when I see it, it's like it reassures me that it's a good product and that it's a good company, because any company who puts themselves through that process to get, it's like the Buav sign, you know. If you look at the little bunny logo, the Buav bunny logo, you know that it's not been tested on animals and all that. So that's how I feel about the vegan society sign. I see it and I go, ah, cool. And of course, well, you know what wasabi powder does, mix it in with a little bit of water. Obviously you can buy it pre-made in the squeezy tubes, but I quite like the powder. And I've got some dried yeast for making bread, which I don't do that often. I should actually do it more. And yeah, I mean, I love making focaccias and stuff like that. I really love doing that. I don't know why I'm piling everything up there. It seems ludicrous. Spring roll wraps. These are really nice for lunchtimes. If you want to make like a spring roll, obviously. But I used to, like, you could do anything in these. You could actually wrap a piece of tofu in that and steam it, or like these are just so cool. And you just there's a few left. Oh, one's broken anyway. But you boil some water and get a large dish and fill the dish with boiling water, and then you just place these in one at a time for seconds, like literally seconds. You don't leave them in too long because they become really like flimsy. Take it out and put whatever you want in it. You could put noodles, just, you know, veg or whatever, but they're excellent and a real nice lunchtime kind of snack or whatever. And I've got some organic sun-dried tomato halves. You buy these dried, and what I tend to do is I put them in a little bit of freshly boiled water for 10 or 15 minutes just to soften them up so that you can chop them. And I put them in everything. I put them in pasta sauces, I mix them through salads, I put them in risottos, just whatever. I mean, just use them like a tomato really. But the thing is, they've got a really nice chew. So I do think that with a lot of vegan dishes, what is missing is texture. And I think that's where the meat thing comes in. People go, oh, I couldn't possibly give up meat. Believe me, I was the same. I never would have thought that I would be vegan, ever. But I do think it's just a texture thing. And then I've got here some vermicelli noodles. These are actually mung bean noodles. Well, let me take them out of this packet. So much plastic. Heartbreaking. I'm actually just going to take these out because that sweetener I just showed you has leaked all over my cupboard. Lovely. Yeah, so these are great. Amaranth pops, which there are these crazy little sort of, I can't, do you know what, there's nothing to even like compare them to. They might be like a natural sugar puff. That's the only way I can describe the texture. But they're crazy little things. Let's see what they're like. So they're like little puffs, and they've got loads of nutrients in them. I mean, too many to even name, but basically they're incredible, absolutely incredible. If you think flax seeds are good, then these are about 1,000,000 times better. So yeah, definitely, even if you're not a vegan, I would recommend getting some of those, because you can sprinkle them on your cereal or sprinkle them on your oatmeal. You could even put them into a smoothie probably, and you'll be sorted then for all your nutrients. Now, this is very special. You can see it. This is my gigantic tub of peanut butter, and it's probably been annihilated because there's been so many people living here. But like, did I eat all that? Holy crap! And I love peanut butter. I mean, I know that almond butter is better for you, and I know that cashew butter is better still. But and I do use those actually. I've got almond butter here, and it's the same brand. It's the Meridian brand, which I think are really good. I really like Meridian. And you can get these anywhere now. You can get them in Holland and Barra. I'm pretty sure you can get them in Sainsbury's and all those sorts of stores. So, but I mean, I just couldn't do without peanut butter. I don't just put it on toast or put it in sandwiches. I put it in overnight oats. I make smoothies with it, milkshakes. I eat it out of the tub. When you're buying peanut butter, try and get one that doesn't have palm oil in it, because, well, there's obviously, it's not necessarily that palm oil is bad for you, but the way that they're basically harvesting the palm oil, it's destroying the natural habitat for orangutans, and there's a whole load of other sort of political sort of issues around it as well. And we've actually got a friend, I think he's living in Indonesia, he's a pilot, and I remember him saying to Jason that he was really horrified by the whole palm oil thing and do not buy it at all. So we really try and avoid it where we can, but once you actually start looking into it, you realise that it's in everything. It's in so many, you know, different things, like things that you wouldn't even, well, it's the same with dairy. You think, why are they putting milk in crisps, for example? Well, it's the same sort of thing with palm oil. You look at the side of a packet and you just think, why on earth are they putting palm oil in that? Alright, so we've got bicarbonate of soda and baking powder. It's Dr. Edgar, which is fine, I guess. It just says in the back suitable for vegetarians. It doesn't say suitable for vegans, but it's fine. I don't know, I really like the old-fashioned kind of bicarb of soda. Maybe it's just the tins and everything they used to come in, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is, and I use it obviously for baking, and I do quite a bit of baking. So those are handy to have in your cupboard. These crispy onions, I mean, I really don't use these very much. I only got them for, they probably reek as well. Oh, sweet Jesus. Sorry if my mum's watching this. Okay, so I use these for a green bean casserole at Christmas time, because when we spent a lot of time in Chicago, and I really love American food. And even though I'm vegan, I feel like you can veganize all the classic American dishes so easily. And I got an amazing recipe for a green bean casserole from Fat Free Vegan Kitchen. Which, just Google it, Fat Free Vegan Kitchen, I think it is, yeah, and it'll come up. And she's got an amazing recipe for a green bean casserole, incredible. And we also had sweet potato casserole. So I'm really into American cuisine, like proper stuff, you know, not like all the kind of fast food stuff. But all that has its place. I like a vegan hot dog now and again. I love this. This is Himalayan pink salt, and it's redonkulously expensive. Like, it's, what, $3.59 for a bag, which I think is pretty expensive for some salt. And but oh my god, it's so good, and I really don't need to use a lot of that. I keep it in a little thing. I'll show you. I keep it in this little dinky thing, and you can see, and it's got a little spoon. And there you can see, and that's what I use. I also have ordinary salt, so that I'm not always using the pink Himalayan salt, because that would just get too